The most exciting inventions that come out of Mitsubishi nowadays are the efficient home air conditioners. This fact is quite sad because Mitsubishi are responsible for the creation of vehicles including the Lancer Evolution series. The Evo series are some of the most iconic Japanese performance cars that ever existed, and what you're seeing on the screen right now is my favorite out of all of them, which is the Evolution X. But also, the X is the last performance car ever manufactured by Mitsubishi. Now in Mitsubishi's prime, there are a number of unique performance cars that no one really talks about, and in this video I'm going to cover 3 forgotten Mitsubishi legends not commonly known by those who aren't enthusiasts. Before we get stuck in, can you please support my channel by subscribing, hit the like button, and you're welcome to leave a comment about the video as well. The Mitsubishi Pajero first debuted in 1981 as a capable 4x4 to match its rivals from Toyota and Nissan at the time. Since then, Pajero only improved and the name lived on for decades. I believe in 2021 they actually stopped selling the Pajero models. Mitsubishi also used the Pajero chassis at the time to race in the I think it's pronounced Dakar Rally, and that was from 1983, which led on to the creation of the vehicle we're talking about, which is the Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution. With only 2,500 manuals and autos sold in Japan between 1997 and 1999, this street legal rally 4x4 only exists as a homologation requirement for the Dakar Rally. Now, if you're wondering what homologation means, it basically means that the manufacturer is required to produce a certain number of road-going versions to compete in the rally. The Pajero Evolution included all the standard Pajero characteristics except that they upgraded to individual rear suspension, and the engine was modified, which was a 3.5 litre V6 6G74 engine to push out roughly 276 horsepower, and that is about 12% more than what the stock engine made at the time. During its production, Mitsubishi dominated the top 4 spots in the Dakar Rally in both 1997 and 1998. Now, if you want to get your hands on a Pajero Evolution in current day, they are extremely rare to come by and expect to pay upward of 50,000 Australian dollars, and I'll include a conversion for US, and that would only be in reasonable condition. In excellent condition, expect to pay more than that. The Pajero Evolution is truly an iconic 4x4, and I doubt we would ever see anything like it being produced again. The Mitsubishi RVR Hypersports Gear R is a 4x4 you've probably never heard of. For context, RVR is to be defined as Mitsubishi's recreation vehicle runner range, which was marketed outside of Asia as the more commonly known ASX, which stands for Active Sports Crossover. The Hypersports Gear trim was only sold in Japan, and it actually used the drivetrain of the very first Mitsubishi Galant VR4, which included the 4G63T 2-litre straight turbo engine mated to either a 4-speed auto or a 5-speed manual. Although the G463T engine is well known to be a powerhouse, making upward of 280 horsepower in the more common applications such as the Lancer Evolution or the VR4. Now, this vehicle actually ended up receiving a detuned version of this engine, only making roughly 230 horsepower, which I assume can easily be tuned anyway. These were in production throughout the 90s, and it's unclear how many were sold in Japan, so they are currently limited and once again come at a cost for a clean example, but not as much as the Pajero Evolution. Gauging from local prices in Australia, I did find a few, and they are roughly upward of 15,000 Australian dollars in poor to average conditions with high kilometers or mileage on them. Lastly, we have the iconic Mitsubishi Starion 2.6 litre GSR VR, which is an extremely rare classic sports car, almost like a collectible. I've never seen this car in person, so unsure if any actually exists within my state. This particular variant was manufactured between 1988 and 1990, which housed one of the largest inline 4-cylinder turbo engines of its time, making roughly 153 horsepower. Now, this is not to be confused with the Starion Turbo, which looks exactly the same and basically is the same car, but it housed a 2-litre inline-4 G463 turbo engine, which made roughly around the same horsepower figures. The Starion GSR VR housed a 2.6-litre engine, but only had a slight torque advantage over the 2-litre, which was quite underwhelming for most buyers. The exterior looks quite similar to other Japanese sports cars of the 80s, but the interior was quirky with a futuristic design and some overlooked features such as the digital clock, the door chimes, electric seat belts, and power windows, which doesn't sound like much but was huge for the 80s. The reason why these are unique and rare is because there wasn't many of them made, and it's very uncertain how many actually exist currently, as only a handful have appeared in Australia for sale over the last few years. The last known sale price locally was $35,000 pre-pandemic, so it is possible that someone may ask upward of this price nowadays for a clean example. Considering on paper the 2-litre turbo version of the Starion is technically the same car, and you can probably find one easier for cheaper as more exist. Now, there are plenty of forgotten JDM legends worth talking about, and I'm more than happy to cover them, so you're welcome to leave a comment with what brand I should cover next. And make sure to follow my channel to keep up to date with all my new videos. Thank you.